On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Big Gay Al, it has recently come to our attention that you're gay.
Well, stop the presses. You figured that one out all on your own, silly buns.
Yes, well, unfortunately for you, the Scouts have a strict policy that openly gay men cannot belong.
On August 10th, 1990, shortly after I had come out as a homosexual, I received a letter from BSA that stated, "Dear Mr. Dale, the grounds for your membership revocation are the standards of leadership established by the Boy Scouts of America that strictly prohibit homosexuals."
We're left with no other options, Mr. Gay Al. You are hereby out of the Scouts.
But I've been a Scout since I was 9 years old.
It's played a huge part of my life. It was a punch in the gut. Scouting was about overarching principles, leadership, respect, courage that could be upheld regardless of sexual orientation. I knew I had to act. I just didn't know that thousands would join me. Dear Bob Mosick, Wayne Brock, and the National Executive Board of the Boy Scouts of America. The groundbreaking 2000 Supreme Court case, the Boy Scouts of America vs. Dale, upheld the organization's constitutional right to exclude James Dale simply because he was gay. As a result, thousands of Scouts joined Dale's 13-year struggle against the discriminatory policy by renouncing their Eagle badges that reflect nearly a decade of service to the organization. Fortunately, BSA's chief executive, Bob Mosick, announced they would be reconsidering the ban at the National Executive Board meeting being held next month. With our demands for equality so close to being met by an organization that holds influence over 2.2 million of our youth, there is no better time than now. So, through the drama, South Park Season 5, Episode 3, Cripple Fight by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, Penn and Teller's Bullshitters of America, the Boy Scout edition by Penn and Teller, and the Boy Scout musical by Chicago Theater. The poetry, It All Started in Boy Scouts by Team Atlanta. The prose, Poor Little Black Fellow by Langston Hughes. And excerpts from my own personal letter to BSA. As an Eagle Scout, I love this organization. But I refuse to be a part of something that stands on the wrong side of history. A performance letter of resignation to the Boy Scouts of America. It all started in the Boy Scouts, when our parents used to drop us off in front of the church each week along with half their love. Two brothers, born of the same seed, where rainbows weren't allowed, only tan uniforms and tattered Bible passages that bellowed. Don't ask, don't tell. I honestly didn't even know about the policy until the second semester of my first year in college. I was shocked. Some of my best friends are gay. Ascots are part of our uniform, and we literally have a rank called We Blows. Let's be honest, Scouting has always been at least a little gay. Oh, yes! We're pitching a tent in the woods. First step to setting up camp, find a high place, not too damp. Just look around and clear some ground on this dry spot that we found. Unfold your tarp and lay it down. We're so safe. It all started in the Boy Scouts, where we were taught to pledge allegiance with our hands over our hearts, not realizing he was being taught to hide his love. Chris always wanted to be like me. One day he came home from school and said, "They keep calling me a homo
or a queer, or a faggot, and I never get picked for the basketball team, and some days I just wanted to stop. They say those closest to you can see the warning signs coming. They're right. Darkness was all little Arnie was ever surrounded by. When Arnie turned 16, he applied to be admitted to a summer camp for the Boy Scouts. But the camp had refused. In a personal letter to Arnie, the camp stated they simply could not admit him. Too many parents would object. So many of Arnie's friends went away that summer, but Arnie could not go. All because Arnie was a Negro.
Aren't you worried that BSA stands on the wrong side of history?
Let me just say one thing that everyone seems to be thinking, but nobody wants to say. That homosexuals, by definition, are attracted to males. Now, I'm not accusing homosexuals of being pedophiles, no. I'm accusing homosexuals of being what they say they are. Attracted to males. Now, step 2, here's what you do. Take out your rods and make sure they're not bent. Find a hole and insert your pole. The aroma of our sweat is heaven sent. We're so safe with this one letter. I watched everything I had worked over half my young life for come completely undone. Yet it was the same idea of respect, leadership, courage that the Boy Scouts had instilled in me that would not let me accept the injustice being done, not just to me, but countless other young gay boys who had found a home in the Boy Scouts of America. Not fighting my expulsion would have been a betrayal to everything the organization had taught me as I looked out my brother's window that night. And I saw his feet dangling like a pair of broken wings. My little brother had given up. Ashamed, the last thing I told him was to keep practicing, because he took that man-made halo and wrapped it around his neck like he was dunking on God. It all started in the Boy Scouts, and there's no going back as the blood rushes to his feet and destiny sits in the driver's seat with the hands of time wrapped around his neck. 10, 9, 8, 7. Dear Bob Mosick, Wayne Brock, and the National Executive Board of the Boy Scouts of America. 6 pretend relationships he had in high school just to fit in. 5, for many years, I have considered being an Eagle Scout amongst my proudest accomplishments. 4, the number of times he's tried this before. I don't care what your parents say. Sometimes failure is beautiful and dedication is deadly. 3, 2 seconds left in his life. God has his finger on the shot clock trigger like he's about to deny Adam the touch of divinity. 1, my Eagle Scout project was building a meditation garden for my church. It took over 1,500 man hours, 150 of which were my own. 1. The number of people it would have taken to save his life. 1. One person ready to stand up and fight. All of that being said, enclosed, you will find the badge, the medal, and my personal signed letter from President Barack Obama, all representative of my rank as an Eagle Scout. I cannot call myself an Eagle Scout. BSA's policy does not reflect my own personal views, and it is certainly not what I learned while I was in Scouting.
I refuse to call myself an Eagle Scout until this ban is lifted and scouting is set back on the right path. Sincerely, Richard Heyne, Troop 237.